Everybody, it's Bob Boob, the real estate guy. How you doing? Hey, this video isn't real sexy. Got me in it, so it definitely isn't sexy. But what I mean by that, this is going to be a lot of like information, like just facts to do. So if you don't have a pen and paper, grab one. Or sorry, that's my son Jax coughing in the background. Hope you're okay, Jax. But what has been asked of me a lot lately, so I think this is the kind of video that we can send out for the future, is that you're thinking about selling, you're not quite sure what to do to prep the house, or like what is a priority of it. So this video is going to be a little longer, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. Now, I'm going to apply a lot. I just personally bought a property, I fixed it up, and then I sold it. So these things I'm telling you, suggesting to you do, encouraging you to do. I don't want to be like bossy man, like you have to do this, you know, Sergeant Boob coming out of me. Ex-military days. So if any of you are veterans out there, thank you for your service. But let's start with the exterior first. Okay, the idea is with the exterior, guys, you just don't want your house to be ugly. Like, it is what it is. You know, like some of us have better looking sceneries and landscaping than others, but you can still make the best of what you've got. Is everything neat, clean, and orderly? Do you have things out of the yard? Is there stuff sitting that shouldn't even be sitting there? Or the bushes like above like the window? The idea is you want hedges to be either gone or completely below the window line of your property. No large trees that are covering the front of your house. Like sometimes I take pictures of houses and people think I'm selling a tree, and then kind of if you look, oh, there is a house behind that tree. So, you know, those things are, they're important. So make the outside look crisp, clean. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Just make sure that things are neat and orderly, and ask your friends. Like, they'll tell you, they're your friends. What do you think about the outside of my house? Now, you can ask the same question about the inside. Now, once you go inside, now, if you're not a Pinterest fan, Pinterest is an interesting app that you can get on, and people from all over the globe have put pictures in there of things they've done. I'm telling you, I'm a plagiarizer. Like, there are some people out there that are super creative, and what I do is I get on Pinterest. You can Google it too, but I just find Pinterest is just a easier app to use. And, you know, let's say if you have a small kitchen, put small kitchen ideas. You can put stage in a home, stage in a living room, stage in a bedroom, you know, lots of ways you can enter it, and you'll just get all these pictures. And then based on your budget, your energy, and what you want to do, then you can start to see what you need to do in your house. Now let me elaborate on that a little bit. Just use the word budget. Money, ching ching. I am a total realist that sometimes we don't have the budget to do everything that we want to do with a property. Sometimes the budget is $0. Well, look, even if you're in a $0 budget or limited budget, then you just might have to work your little tail off then, or in my case, big tail, by mowing the grass, cleaning up the house, getting stuff out of the garage that doesn't need to be in there, getting stuff out of the house that shouldn't be there, and putting it in the garage. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So there's two different things. So if there's things you have in the garage that don't need to be there, get rid of them. But your house needs to be clean and orderly. We call it staging. And you have two platforms. You have the horizontal, your floor, and your vertical, the walls. It should not, well, the saying they use out there is less is more. In other words, you should not have a lot of furniture in the room. You should not have a lot of things on the wall. Some of your homes, dear goodness, people, you need to get rid of some stuff. Guess what? I'm one of those people too. But I'm not trying to sell my personal home today. But if I was, I might have to remove a few pieces of furniture, especially bedrooms. Some of you encapsulate the whole bedroom. Every wall has a dresser or something on it then. And no, one dresser. Two maybe if it's a large bedroom then. Your bed, a dresser, everything else goes. Maybe one decoration on each wall, that sort of a thing. I know, I didn't say this was going to be easy. Now, you can choose to do none of these things. I'm telling you right now, any of you that have a house that you're thinking of selling, I can sell it in the condition that it is today. What I'm talking about here is low-cost, no-cost things that can get you, one, more money, or two, get it sold quicker. Because the two aren't always the same, but they're very, very closely related. They're cousins. They're sisters. So getting it sold for a good price, but getting it sold. Now, if you do the right things and you have a little bit more of a budget, you can probably do both them. So anyhow, let's go back to the inside of the property here then. The number one, write this down. The number one room, I don't care what any other realtor says, I professionally disagree with them. The number one room that your house has to be presented properly, do you know what it is? Kitchen. So if any of you thought kitchen, that's great. Now there's other rooms that are also important. Living room is important, master bedroom, family room is important. Actually, some of the least important areas are the kids' rooms. I've seen people work on their kids' rooms, and then I go through their kitchen and going, I think you were putting your time in the wrong area of the house here then. People are very forgiving with kids' bedrooms, storage rooms, that sort of thing. But the kitchen is kind of the heart of the house. Always has been, always will. So what can you do in kitchens? Well, if you have a dark kitchen, one, add some lighting or put some brighter bulbs in. You can paint the cabinets. I'm good with that. I've actually done that in quite a few properties then. The place that I told you about recently, we actually replaced the base cabinets but kept the wall cabinets. We painted the wall cabinets. We did a two-tone, kind of did a wood on the bottom and a white on the top, and it turned out beautiful. Honestly, I got it from Pinterest, the idea. So I'm buying half the cabinets, and it really turned out nice. So if you have any questions on that, you can text me pictures of your kitchen. Just take like 5 or 6. Like you got each corner, and then if there's like an island, get close, send me like 8, 10 pictures of your kitchen. I'd be glad to brainstorm with you. No cost. And even if you're using a different realtor, I don't know why, but even if you are, or you're maybe outside of my service area or whatever, honestly, I'm here to help you. I love doing this stuff. So what's the number one home with the most important? Kitchen. All right. Now what's number 2? This I'm going to give people that could be a tie. It would seem, since I've said kitchen, that the bathrooms would be number 2. That good argument there. But I'm going to say that the bathrooms in the living room, now I'm going to extend on the living room because some of you have family rooms. So bathroom, living room, family room, those are, you got to be neat and orderly. Remember we talked to horizontal and the vertical planes, make sure everything's neatly organized, that sort of thing. Painting in a house can be important. If you've got earth tone colors and it not really marked up, painting probably isn't necessary. If you've got older carpets that are really ugly, you probably are going to want to consider replacing the floors. My buddy there is still coughing in the back. Hopefully he gets well. Say a prayer for Jax right now. Now, replacing the floors can be very important, but this again is one of those things that you probably should send me a couple pictures. We'll look at it and analyze it then. You can do a credit for the floors, but sometimes credits are overused in real estate then, Yeah, we didn't want to do anything in the house, so we'll give you a credit of $100 for floor, and people are going, the floor is going to be $5,500, Jack. Yeah, $100 ain't doing me crap. But we'll show you some ideas on that. Bathrooms, easy. Just need to be neat, clean, and orderly. Maybe paint the sink cabinet if it's beat up. Maybe a new floor, shower curtain, nice. Just again, this isn't the time for humor. I've got a goofy looking shower curtain in but I'm not trying to sell the property. If I was just a plain color, a gray, or just some sort of a pretty color, make sure that you have, and this is going to be said for everywhere, you've got to have the brightest bulbs. The rooms have to have lots of sunlight. Get rid of your blinds. And when I say get rid of your blinds, I mean just, open them all the way up. Just all windows should be open. If you've got dark rooms and you're part vampire, or what do they call those, nocturnal animal, sorry, when you're selling, you gotta light and bright, open up those rooms so almost when people walk in a room, they don't even have to turn on a light. And let's see, where was I going with that then? So we got the bedrooms, or I'm sorry, we haven't gotten to the bedrooms yet. We've got the living room, the bathroom, and the family room then. Now, the least important, but certainly are important, if your kid has the room a little messed up, don't be hard on Junior. It's okay. Like, they just throw things under the bed, into the closet. When people open the door, they're looking more at the size of the room. Now, if it's full of a lot of personal stuff, then no, you need to box it and go back to that garage and put anything that you want to keep, but it's too much in the room, into your garage. If you don't have a garage, well, you could use your basement, your attic, or I would suggest moving it off-site. Here's another idea. Get rid of some crap. Give it to the Goodwill. Sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Just saying. I've gone through this myself, so I twitch every once in a while because I like my treasures. Okay, now, let me think here. All right, I'm going to take a break from that. Now we're going to talk about the working components of the property. So what these are, again, these aren't sexy. People don't pay a lot more for these, but they're important to be in good shape. Roof, so we got roof, wiring, heating, and cooling. Okay, so the cooling's become very, very important over the last 10 years in real estate then. And you know what I'm going to throw in there is foundation, because we've run into this a few times over the years. So I highly recommend that you have a pre-inspection done of your property. Now, here's what I do. So this property I just sold recently, I did this. I had the home inspector come out. I did what I thought that needed to be done to the property. Home inspector comes out. You know, he actually found about a dozen small things that need to be done. And one that was a little, not major, but one I just had overlooked, and a couple posts on a deck that needed to be added, but I just hadn't got underneath the deck and didn't realize it then. So then what we did is we did all those things that we could do, and we added those posts to the deck, and then we had an updated home inspection done. So you've got a pre-inspection. Now, guys, this, I'm telling you what, if there's one thing that you listen to in this entire rambling that I'm doing here about how to prep your house for selling, it's to have a pre-inspection done. I'm not making any money from the home inspector, and I can give you a list of several home inspectors that can do this stuff. But what is happening now? Now you put your property on the market, you give the buyer a copy of the seller's disclosure, you give and I can supply one of those too if you're trying to sell your house yourself, but give them a copy of the home inspection. So now you take no sales contingent upon any inspections. Now, if you have a septic and a well, get that done. And now as part of my home inspection, I also had a wood boring insect inspection. Sometimes people call that the termite, but they actually check for all wood boring insects. So now all you're doing when you talk to the buyers, like, look, here's the condition of the house. Take a look at it. And then, sorry, I hope you can still hear me. Then a call came through then during that recording. So now what you're doing, you're not negotiating any terms of the sale other than sale price and closing date. And then, of course, a very important area too is just a nugget is earnest money deposit. I don't think you should accept any sale with an earnest money deposit any less than 1% to 2% down then. And if they're doing more, they should put more down. Make buyers put their money where their mouth is. Don't let them hold you hostage and then a week before closing, 2 months later, like, oh, I don't have enough money, or we changed our mind, or whatever. No, well, if that's the case, then you're subject to losing your earnest money deposit, and the more is the better. Okay, get off my box there for a second, but that's buyers who don't take contracts serious. I think there's a special place that they should be taken and smacked around a little bit. Okay, I'm just kidding. No violence. All right, focus, Bob. So you get that done. Now, what I did with mine as well, I had the furnace serviced by a professional furnace man. So I know I have a receipt. I can say, look, the furnace is working good. Of course, the roof was checked out and all the other things. Now, there was a couple minor electrical things, some GFIs that needed to be added, and I think there was a breaker that they recommend to be replaced. We did all that then. So it just set me up for selling that I didn't have to have the home inspection, because I'm telling you, if you're actually thinking about selling a property, here's what buyer agents will do. And these are good people. They think they're being good buyer agents, but they're really not. And I'll argue this too, and with the best of them. They think that what they're using the home inspection for is to renegotiate the price a second time. So of course, you got the house listed, say $200. They bring you down to $190. That's $10,000. Then they do the home inspection and they find, say, $3 or $4 grand worth of work to do. Well, they want you to come down another $3 or $4 grand. Well, they can't do math. You know, wait a minute, we already came down 10 grand. That more than covers any of those repairs you found in the home inspection. But then what they'll do is then they'll threaten to bail from you. Well, here you are now 2 or 3 weeks later. All those other buyers that you possibly had interested in the property aren't there anymore then. And then what is the kiss of death is to put a house back on the market after a home inspection goes bad, because now every buyer agent is going to go, how come the first sale didn't work out? What's the problem with the house? I like that impersonation of a bad buyer agent. But sorry, I'm having a lot of fun here, guys. Okay, so now we're at about 14 minutes. So if you want to push pause and take a break, I know 14 minutes with Bob Boob for anybody is probably 15 minutes too long, right? All right, so we'll keep going here then. So what they're going to try to do, though, is to use that to renegotiate. Take that power away from them. Have the pre-inspection done. Use it in your marketing, and then therefore it'll make the house sell better, quicker, and you don't have the cuckoo buyers and buyer agents that you end up dealing with then. Now, sometimes in the home inspection, things are revealed that you just don't have enough money to take care of. You don't have the ambition, maybe the know-how. You're just not enough time. You're moving cross country. But that's okay. So let's say it's a house with an older roof. Well, we'll just keep the pricing in mind. we'll disclose, look, we know the roof isn't leaking or the roof is leaking, whatever the case. We know it's going to be $15,000 because we got an estimate from a roofer. So that's what we would do. And we would say, look, we can either work this into the price of the house, or just, you have to put in your budget 15 grand at some point to put a new roof on. So there's many, many ways that can be done then. All right, so we've got the exterior talked about, the interior, the working components for it. I suppose the last area, and this is important with preparing your house, I guess, is just to take a good hard look at the home, the colors, the layout. Just, this is where some of your friends come into play that, like, look, we're thinking about selling our house. What do you think? Again, Bobby Booby, I'm here for you. Send me pictures. I can come meet at your house and I walk you through. I love doing this stuff. Even if you're thinking about selling your own house, look, I'm a resource then. And if you try to sell your own house, you're going to get buyer leads. If those buyers don't want your house, pass them on to me. I would love to be their buyer agent. So again, it's a win-win for both of us. That's for sure. Easy for me to say. I get so excited here talking about selling homes then. All right, there's probably a few things that I've missed, but we're about 16 minutes now. I think this is plenty. You've got the idea, you got the grasp. So if I can help with any of this, figuring out pricing, give you suggestions, whatever I can do for you, please reach out to me then. Guys, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you. Have a wonderful day. Bob Boob, the real estate guy, wishing you a wonderful day. Bye-bye.